LaMarcus Aldridge plays his first game for the Nets. He didn't have a huge stat line. He's old. He's 35 years old. We know he's not the same LaMarcus Aldridge from Portland or his first few years with San Antonio, but he's still very savvy. The fact that he played under Pop with San Antonio lets me to believe that he is a team player. He's gonna give it his all every night. He's a savvy veteran. He could score. He could still score in that 18-foot range. He still has that fadeaway jumper, silky smooth. I saw him get some buckets like that last night against the Hornets. So he can still score some points, but they don't really need him for that. They have a lot of scorers. They have a lot of stars. I think he's just a very good veteran presence. LaMarcus Aldridge, he's been an all-star numerous times. He's respected. He's respected in the league by his peers. He's just been in the league for a while. He's 35 years old. He's made all-stars. He's had huge games in the playoffs. So I think he's a good voice for the locker room. When you have like Kyrie, Harden, KD, you have Blake Griffin, having LaMarcus Aldridge there, 35 years old, he's kind of like a gel guy. He's like a really good gel guy that has a lot of cachet. You know, if he says something, he has a resume to back him up, whereas younger players won't really question him. They won't really like fight back and be like, who are you? Why are you telling me to do this? You know, he's 35 years old. He's LaMarcus Aldridge. He was once considered one of the biggest free agents of the offseason. I remember I wanted the Lakers to get him. And other than his leadership and his experience and his savviness as a veteran, he's still a very good passer. He could play the 5. He could be a great post passer. He tries on defense. He's not that quick-footed. He's not going to be a lockdown defender, but he is still a good passer. If I was to compare him to a player, I think he's maybe a better version of Marc Gasol for what the Lakers got Marc Gasol for. He's a good passer. He could still score. He could shoot the 3 sometimes. But I think LaMarcus Aldridge, at this point in his career, he's probably a little bit better than Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol hasn't really worked out for the Lakers. And this just puts the Nets another level higher. I mean, they're already super stacked. KD, Kyrie, Harden, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, they are stacked. We'll see how LaMarcus Aldridge keeps playing. Right now, KD's out. Blake didn't play. And Harden is nursing a hammy. So it was only LaMarcus Aldridge, Kyrie, and the rest of the crew. And they still beat the Hornets pretty handily. So we'll see how they gel. But the Nets have a surplus of talent. They should be the favorites for the title, not just to get out of the East, but to win the championship just by talent and alone. I know they have a rookie head coach, Steve Nash. He's a rookie head coach. We'll see how he performs under pressure in tough situations. Is he going to be able to call the timeouts at the right situation? Is he going to be able to, rotate his players enough? Is he going to have the right adjustments, the right plays out of timeouts? We got to see how Steve Nash does that. And we also got to see how this team gels. Like, is their chemistry going to be 100%? Like, how is their chemistry going to be going into the playoffs? If they have players out at different times, how many games are they going to get under their belt where all 5 of them are there? LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, KD, Kyrie, and Harden. How many games are they going to get together before the playoffs? So we got to consider that chemistry and how good of a coach Steve Nash is. But even if their chemistry is not the best, even if Steve Nash doesn't turn out to be a great coach or at least a great postseason coach, they have such an immense amount of talent in their roster that it shouldn't even matter. Like, if their chemistry is not that good, if Steve Nash is not an elite coach, they just have so much talent that they should still be the perennial favorites for the NBA title, especially with AD and LeBron out. We got to see how they gel, how they come back. And the East just doesn't have horses to go up against the Nets. The Bucks, we'll see what the Bucks do, but I don't think they have enough. The Sixers, they were a cool story. We'll see how Embiid comes back and if they're able to, compete against the Nets. But they are the perennial favorites. I know there's a lot of backlash for LaMarcus Aldridge for joining the Nets. They're calling it a weak move. They're saying that he should have gone somewhere else. I can see where people are coming, but I don't really blame LaMarcus Aldridge. He's 35 years old. He's been the man with Portland, with San Antonio, and he just couldn't get it done. There's no shame in that. A lot of players just don't win a ring. Now he's 35 years old. He's on the back end of his career. He has this opportunity to get bought out, to be a free agent mid-season and sign with the contender. I think the Nets are the most sure thing, as sure thing as you can get to like really make it to the finals. They're more of a sure thing than the Lakers just because the Clippers are in their way. We'll see what Utah does. We'll see how the West plays out. But the East looks like it's the Nets and nobody else. Like, if I'm being honest, like there's some good regular season games, but just the amount of talent that the Nets have is just, you can't ignore it. I would have loved LaMarcus Aldridge to go with the Heat. I think with the trade for Oladipo and the way Jimmy Butler's playing and the way Bam has followed up his breakout season last year, if you add LaMarcus Aldridge to the 5 next to Bam, and then you have Kyrie, you have Jimmy Butler and Oladipo and Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, you have a squad. You could go back to the finals. He chose the Nets, and I can't be too mad. I can't be too mad at him. Like, go get that ring, man. You've been an all-star. You've been a great player. Like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Go get your ring. I kind of wanted him with the Lakers too, but it wasn't meant to be. He didn't end up with the Lakers, and now he's the Nets. So we'll see how this plays out. The Nets definitely have a lot of pressure. They already had so much pressure when it was just Kyrie, Harden, and Kyrie, KD, and Harden. They already had so much pressure once they made that trade for Harden. Now they get LaMarcus Aldridge. Now they get Blake Griffin by the buyout market. That's just added pressure. Like the Nets, like it would be insane if the Nets don't make the finals. Like I'm kind of looking forward to it in a way. I'm not a Nets fan. I'm a Lakers fan. So it would be like the same way that people bash the Clippers for not making the Western Conference Finals last year. It would be like that, but just times 100 if the Nets don't at least make it to the finals. It would just be Twitter will have a field day with them. I know all these major networks will have a big field day if the Nets don't make the finals. So I'm kind of hoping it happens, but I would like to see a KD versus LeBron final, just for them to duke it out again while they're still in their prime. KD, he came back from his Achilles. He's definitely in his prime. We'll see how many years LeBron still has of his prime, but I need to see that matchup in the finals while they're still at a very elite level. But LaMarcus Aldridge, can't be mad at you for signing with the Nets. I can't wish you the best because I am a Lakers fan and I'm hoping for the repeat, but I do wish you, well with the Nets.